Let me just close the door and the window so the neighbors don't think I'm crazy, which I am, but they need not know. What kind of noise was that? Let's do this. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about my dog because as you've probably already seen, I don't live alone. I have a dog. Her name is Akita. She's drinking in the background right now, which is quite loud. Let's just wait until she's finished. She's quite thirsty. Are you done? Are you done? Okay, she's done. She's 1.5 years old. Her birthday is in March 2021. I got her when she was 3 months old from a breeder, and yes, I know you should ideally adopt a dog and don't shop for it, but I wanted to get that breed and no other breed. I think it's important that you pick a breed that is fitting to your lifestyle. For example, I would never ever get a husky. Although I love them, they are beautiful dogs, but I cannot give a husky the level of activity that they need. I don't own a house with a large garden. It is admirable to adopt a mixed breed dog from another country, a street dog, whatever, a dog from a rescue. Nothing against that, don't understand me wrong. With mixed dogs, you never know what you're getting and a character and like what traits of a breed come through. With purebred dogs, you also never know the character of that dog. For example, Akitas are actually quite lazy. This one, the first 1.5 years now, she has a very high energy level for an Akita. So this is also something that you cannot know beforehand. My dog is a Japanese Akita Inu. There's also an American Akita Inu. We're talking today about the Japanese Akita Inu, which originated, surprise, in Japan. They come from I think they're called prefectures, which is called Akita, which is a very mountainy area. And so they are basically adapted to mountainy cold terrain. This is why I also thought it would be great for her if I take her to live in Norway, so that we can go mountain hiking, which turned out to be partially wrong because she's very lazy, so she doesn't even like mountain hiking that much. A fun fact. So they were basically bred as a multi-purpose dogs. There's a lot of myth around what Akita Inus were actually doing back in the imperial ages. So they were like one thing that I read is like that only rich people had Akita Inus or high of stand because they were kind of a sign for wealth. Then I read that they were accompanying samurai on their warfare, so when they were out hunting. Also that they were bred for hunting bears. I think they were bred for hunting these smaller, not smaller, but like smaller black bears. The Japanese Akita Inu is the national dog of Japan. It's not the Shiba Inu. They look alike, but it's the Akita Inu. Is the Akita Inu related to the Shiba Inu? The Akita Inu is bigger, bulkier, more fuzzy, more fur, big in size, but also like thicker. Sorry to say that, Kita, but like bulkier. Shiba Inu is smaller, doesn't have as fluffy fur, and yeah, but they look very much alike. If you have the two sesame red colors next to each other, then they look like they were like twins. We met a couple of Shiba Inus here in Norway and in Germany, and it was always cute because they're they're just as bitchy as the Akita Inu. And yeah, it's just cute to see how they interact with each other, and like to see like the big one and then the tiny one is like, yeah, it's super cute. So the dog breed that most of us in the Western world actually know is the Shiba Inu. When I go outside with Kita, I notice that with people passing us and saying like to each other, oh, that was a Shiba Inu, or asking me directly, is that a Shiba Inu? And I was like, no, it's not. I mean, it's not bad. It's like, I don't care. I know that some Akita owners are very annoyed by that, also by getting asked like, is this a husky? Which I mean, they do look a little bit husky-ish, but I don't mind people asking me. But you can really tell that people only know these Shiba Inu through Doge, and I think it's just more common, these dogs. They are smaller, so they are, I don't know if they're easier to handle, to be honest, because they also have this big personality and are very, very stubborn. If people know the Akita Inu, they have probably seen the film Hachiko, which is like a very, very sad movie with Richard Gere. It's a real story around a dog that waited for its owner at a train station. The owner is deceased while at work. I think he was a university professor. I don't know if that's accurate to the real event, but the dog waited there for like, I think 7 years or something before it died. I cannot say I don't like the movie, but I don't like it in that way as people see the movie, they see the Akita in that movie, and they think that this is actually what an Akita is like. Like, people kind of get the notion from the movie that Akitas are very loyal and very attached to their owner, affectionate, which is partially true, but they don't show all the bad sides of the breed in that movie. It's like idealizing this story that is based on real events. My advice would just be, don't get a dog or a dog of a certain breed based on a certain movie. It's the same with the Beethoven movies, I think. What's that breed called again? I only know how to pronounce it in German. Bernardiner. Bernese. Is it a Bernese dog? I don't know what that breed is called in English. Anyways, these big, massive dogs. So back to the initial questions. Are Akitas related to Shiba Inus? Yes, they kinda are. Both of these breeds are amongst the oldest and most primitive dog breeds. Primitive means that they are basically not as trained as, let's say, a newer dog breed which is like a golden retriever. So they're not really made to please humans. They have a mind of their own. They are very stubborn, as I just mentioned, so they are bred to make their own decisions, actually, as in hunting dogs are. I think all of them are bred to make their own decisions because, or assess situations on their own, whereas there's dogs like, I always take the golden retriever as an example because it's just so perfect, because they will literally just sit down and look at you when they are out of wits, or when they're out of options, or like when they require information to assess a situation, they will just look at you. Whereas an Akita would just go like, oh yeah, I know what to do, and then they just do it. So they are a very old dog breed, which also means that their ancestors have been in human company for quite a long time, which you could not tell if you know my dog, because she's very skeptic towards people, especially towards children, and she needs very long time to get accustomed to strangers, so she will bark at people a lot. But we have to be realistic, really, because I think the worst thing that one can do is like idealize this dog breed, and then everyone is getting one and they're like, oh my god, I cannot handle this. I have so many moments that I cannot handle her, and I honestly, I shouldn't say it while she's standing here. But as a dog owner, and I think that's quite normal if you have a breed that is so hard to train, you have a lot of moments where you're thinking like, why did I think I could handle this? But you just have to move through it. It's a lot of work, but you'll get there. Long story short, the Akita Inu and the Shiba Inu are related. Are there two Akita breeds? Basically, yes. I just mentioned that there is the Japanese Akita Inu, and then there's the American Akita. I hope I said that correctly, because one of them is Akita Inu. Inu is, I think, dog in Japanese, and the American Akita. Since 2020, these two breeds are separate breeds in the US. I don't know what it looks like in other countries, to be honest. But to talk about why there is two different breeds, I think that would just be too long. It's a very complicated and long story. It's a very interesting story, actually, so I might just do that. Personality traits of the Akita Inu. The internet says the Japanese Akita is described as independent, calm, dominant, and headstrong, which I can totally support. It is really ridiculous to see a small furry person like that have such a big confidence, and they just march out into the world. And I don't know where they get that from. That's quite interesting because they're being born with that confidence level. Even when she was a little puppy, she was like, I know where we're going for a walk, and just, I think that's cute. The internet also says that they're not barking as much and that they are not howling. With the barking part, she's not barking inside like other dogs do. I had a dog of a mixed dog before, other breeds, no Akita, and he was barking more than she is. However, they are very, I think the word is aloof, so they are very skeptical towards strangers and people. But there are also Akitas that are very good with children, that don't bark at all. So as I just said, it really depends on the personality of the dog. Another thing the internet has is that they are very affectionate and very loyal, and they're only bonding with one person. And that was actually one of my fears, because I thought, okay, I might get a dog that, because they're also like very feline, like very cat-like. Cats usually don't like to cuddle or be touched that much. My fear was getting a dog that doesn't like to be cuddled, doesn't like to be touched, and also bonding with only one person. I was single when I got her, and I thought I would be like crazy cat lady forever alone, but instead of cats I would have like 10 Akitas or something. Mountain cabin, 10 Akitas. Why did I want to get an Akita Inu, another different breed? I had a dog before. It was a mix of Irish Terrier and some other hunting dog. I love dogs. I really love dogs. I haven't had a dog after that one died, and I went to uni and I was very busy, and there was always something that wasn't fitting. Then you have a full-time job and you have to go to the office, and the dog cannot stay. Also, I didn't want to leave my dog alone for like 9 hours or 10 hours a day. So getting a dog for me was a wish for over 10 years that I could not fulfill. When COVID hit, the possibility was there. I also knew that I don't want to have a pure office job ever again. So what I did was I just jumped into it alone. So as a single person getting a dog, I might make another video about that, because that was not the smartest move, I have to say. Yeah, so this is like getting a dog in general. Now, why did I get an Akita Inu? I just felt like the personality traits, if we're talking about the good and the bad, are quite fitting. I like dogs that are more independent, that are not like very clingy and like at your heel all the time. I like dogs that are a little bit have a little bit of a character, like are not as friendly as a golden retriever. I always take the golden retriever as an example. I'm not going to like talk bad about golden retrievers, but I think they're very boring dogs because they're easy to train, they're very friendly, they're very social. It's like, it's cute, but it's not my kind of dog. I also wanted a dog that does not necessarily like to go into water, because it's always a huge mess in the apartment when the dog has been outside and rolled around in a puddle or went into the water. So Akitas don't really like water. They're part cat, part dog, so they will avoid water when they can. Another point that made me go for an Akita Inu was that when I was the first time in Norway, I thought it was not as common here as in Germany to like socialize your dog and let them play with other dogs. And I know that there is a lot of breeds who like thrive on social interaction with other dogs, and they crave it, they need it to be happy. An Akita Inu is more like independent. They don't really like, at a certain age, when you pass the year 2, I think, they become more unsocial, so that they don't really need to play with other dogs. I let her play obviously regularly with other dogs because I just feel like she wants it and she enjoys it, but as soon as she's no longer enjoying it, I won't force her to do it. So my assumption was it's not as common here. That is wrong. There are dog parks. There's a lot of people who actually let their dogs play. So yeah, that was a wrong assumption of me, but that was also why I wanted to get that breed, so that the dog doesn't suffer if there's not as much opportunity for social interaction. Let's talk about money. It is fairly expensive to have an Akita Inu. They have a very sensitive stomach, which is, I think, is a breed trait. There are a lot of Akita Inu owners that feed them fresh meat and vegetables and stuff like that, which is also more expensive than just buying dry food. Because they have a sensitive stomach and digestive system, you will also, so you might have to visit the vet more frequent than with another dog breed. You also have to find a food that is fitting for your dog, which is also an individual thing, so there's no real recommendation on that. I mix dry food sometimes with, I think it's called Balv, but I don't know if that's a German expression. It's like fresh food that is frozen, or she just gets fresh food, so the food that I'm eating basically, so chicken breast. The only thing that she cannot eat is pork. I think that's all dog breeds as far as I know. Pig ears, for example, everything that is kind of very fatty, so they are very sensitive also to fat and protein. How is life with an Akita? It's different than with other dog breeds, I would say, because they are so stubborn, because they are so independent and intelligent and hard to train. The hard to train part is not that they don't get what you want from them, it's that they actually learn really quickly tricks and what you want from them, but they just don't choose to do it. They know what you want from them, but they just decide not to. This is what makes it a little bit annoying and like frustrating a lot when you train with them, because they know that they know what you want from them, but they just decide nah. So that's the part where they assess for themselves. In everyday life, that makes it also very hard to for me as an owner to get a dog sitter, because I have to make sure that she is in good hands, that the people know what she's capable of and know how to treat her, and that she's not stupid, that she's actually smart, and that she knows what she's supposed to do. She just doesn't do it. Also, because of her size and her strength, I really need to rely on a person that knows how to deal with the dog. You cannot prepare for that. And there's also something when you research on the internet that says as a first-time dog owner, you should not get an Akita. But if you haven't had a dog before, or even, no, the other way around. If you have had a dog before from a different breed, let's say a Cocker Spaniel or whatever, and then you get an Akita, nothing that you learned about your Cocker Spaniel will help you in raising the Akita Inu, nothing. So my experience as a previous dog owner and sitting other dogs, working with other dog breeds, didn't help me at all with this one. Not the slightest, because everything you learn which is applicable to other dog breeds doesn't work with her. This is also why when you go into puppy training, or if you go to professional dog trainers, there's a lot that don't even take Akitas in. They say, nah, too difficult. A lot of Akita owners, by the way, also say like, don't go to dog school with your dog because it would ruin them. I know one story where a dog trainer was bitten by the dog because she did stuff that works maybe with other dog breeds. It doesn't work with the Akita. You cannot gain trust and allegiance and loyalty through dominance with the Akita. You have to be on the same level. You have to be a friend and not the owner. So it sounds so stupid, but it's true. I guess these are the biggest differences, or the biggest things that you have to think about if you want to get an Akita, like your everyday life. It is not as easy as with a dog breed that is more sociable and more like a companion to you. So you can, I know that there is a lot of people that, like also friends of mine, that take the dog to work in the office and they just lie there and they're like silent and they can work. And the dog is just like chill. It's difficult to say because I think it also depends on training, but this one we could get there. Every time someone new comes into the room, she will just start barking like all hell loose. Other than that, other dogs are actually looking forward to go outside, and she hates it. I might have a video of that actually, or a photo where when she was a puppy, I actually had to drag her outside on a leash. that still happens sometimes. So what's the good sides of living with a dog? A lot of them, so I don't even need to count them. If she is up for a walk and if she's enjoyed it like she has enjoyed it in the past, then it's just so nice to finally have a companion that I can walk with. I took a lot of walks, not only in COVID time, but I enjoy going for a walk, and I always felt like it would be so nice to have a dog with me now. And now since I have her, I just really enjoy going on hikes and like in the forest or on the mountain or wherever, actually, to just have her with me. Coming home to a dog is also something that I really like. That's she's always so excited and like so happy to see me, and that unconditional love. So this is all I have to say about my dog for this day. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments. I could talk about her for hours and hours and hours and hours. So don't hesitate if you have any questions about the breed. If you plan to get an Akita yourself and you have questions about that, then just write it down. I'll gladly answer the questions if I can. Bye.